Hello, it's Adedoyin here, and today I want to talk about something that I believe a lot of professionals struggle with. Spoken to young professionals, spoken to my peers, spoken to senior colleagues, and this is an issue that usually does come up at some point in different people's career journeys. And just in case you're wondering what I'm on about, today I want to talk to you about overcoming or dealing with imposter syndrome as a communications professional. The work we do as communicators is quite diverse. Sometimes no 2 days are exactly the same. Sometimes you can have this feeling of being thrown into the deep end and you're not exactly sure if you're going to sink or swim. I think it comes with the territory of what we do, but there are ways to deal with it, and that's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to start off to say that if you're feeling inadequate, if you're feeling self-doubt, if having those struggles with imposter syndrome, you're not the only one. So if you've read my book called From Clueless to Success, and if you haven't read it, please read it. I pretty much documented my journey and how I navigated a lot of it very cluelessly. I wasn't sure what I was doing. There were times I was right in the deep end. I'm like, Lord, I cannot sink. Please help me. And I got to realize, even just by writing the book and reading feedback from people, is that it wasn't just a me experience. We are going to experience that at some point or the other in our journey. While I don't even like to generalize, because I believe maybe there are people that are super confident in the entirety of their professional journey, I think that's not everybody. And if you fall into that category where, especially in the early years of your career, where you're not sure, your boss has asked you to do something and you're not sure about your ability to deliver, or you're being given a task or a big responsibility for the first time and you're like, I don't want to let my boss down, I don't want to fail, I don't want to, all the excuses and things you can say in the world, please know that you're not alone. And that's one of the first things that I would tell you with regards to dealing with imposter syndrome. The second thing is, how do you begin to overcome it? And I believe that starts with understanding what you know, what you are good at, and what you do not know. One thing I always encourage every professional to do is to have a personal skill audit. What are the things that I need to know? What are the things that I need to learn, especially to succeed within your role in your organization? If you do not have great writing skills, while yes, you should have great writing skills as a communicator, it's not the end of the world. What you then need to do is to say, okay, I've identified that my writing skills are not great. What can I do to be able to improve on my writing skills? I've met people that say, look, I absolutely hate writing. I don't want to learn how to write, or I can't. But the truth is that in the early years of your career, you don't really have a say as to what you like or what you don't like. You should just learn everything and try to get by, so that the higher you rise in your career, then you can begin to delegate the writing stuff. But it actually does help when you know the foundational things. So outline what it is that you already know and what don't you know, and find a way to close that skill gap. And this is where I will talk about being a lifelong learner, finding places where you can upskill, finding places where you can improve your knowledge. That can be from a community such as the Comms Avenue. That can be by joining a professional association where you will have resources. There's the IABC, there's the CIPR, and in your country, you have also local associations that you can and should join. And always encourage young professionals to join professional associations, because this is what those associations do for you. They have resources and materials that help you to boost your knowledge, and then you also have access to other professionals that you can lean on, that you can say, okay, this person has done this, let me reach out. I remember last year I had to do a training for a company in the oil and gas sector, and while I didn't specialize in oil and gas, I had access, just because of the association that I belonged to reach out to one of them that she had over 15 years experience in the oil and gas sector, to say, this is what I'm thinking, this is how I want to approach this training, these are the things I want to highlight, are there things you think I should add or remove? And she was like, oh, Adedoyin, you're in the right direction. So that gave me a boost of confidence that, okay, I'm spot on. Because again, we know that the principles of communications, they're universal, but their application to each industry can be quite specific and tailored, which is why I did that. So always be committed to upskilling, always be committed to improving your knowledge. Go for communications conferences, PR hangouts, meet people that you can lean on. Look, let me tell you, in the early days of my career, my peers, oh my goodness, I was like, hello, I just got this brief. I'm not really sure what to do. These are my thoughts. And the truth is that it's not like you don't know what to do. I found that I just was doubting and second guessing myself until my friends would say, oh, you're in the right direction. Just do this, do that. There was never a time, I know I have nice friends, but I also have brutally honest friends. There was never a time someone said to me that, you're way off track, this is absolute nonsense. No, they were like, you're in the right direction. And they point me, to resources and materials and help me fine tune the entire thing. So another thing that I would say is give yourself credit. I found that young professionals, maybe because you're benchmarking, example, me, that I have over a decade experience in this field, you begin to benchmark, oh, Adedoyin knows all these things. Hey, I didn't just start my career when I was 1 year, 2 years, 3 years in this industry. I didn't know what I know now. So why would you benchmark your progress against me? So you can say that by the time I get to 10 years in the industry, this is what I would like to achieve, or this is where I would like to be. So make sure that you're not benchmarking yourself against the wrong target. I'm not saying you shouldn't look up to people, but please do not let their successes and their achievements make you to feel like, oh, you're not doing anything. You have your pace, you have your journey, and you have the uniqueness of where you are going as well. My path is not your path. So that's another thing that I would say is, aside from making sure that you're committed to lifelong learning, make sure that you are actually benchmarking against the right metrics. And then look at yourself and say, how do I want to grow? Set targets every month, for example, because I want to do more of teaching, I want to do more of training. I have said to myself, I would record 2 of these videos per month on YouTube. Now it has been a stretch. I think this is my first video in April, but I have the content ideas already. I have the topic. So I'm going to do another video just to make sure I meet my 2 videos per month target, to share something to benefit young communications professionals. Give yourself a target. Another target that I gave myself this year was to read at least 2 books per month, and the books would be either communications related book, ministry or Christian related books, and then autobiographies. I love reading autobiographies. I have one now that just arrived from Amazon. Is Jaiyesimi, very respected PR professional. I cannot wait to dig into her book, because why? I'm not only is she in my field, I'm going to learn a lot from her. So make sure you just learn. Look, be a sponge. One of our mentors in our comms mentoring program just recently said it. Be a sponge and soak in, because that is what gives you confidence. That is what will help you to say, I actually know what I am doing. I actually am confident that I can do this thing. The next thing that I would say is, please don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. Nobody likes to fail. Nobody likes to make mistakes. I can tell you that for a fact. Every time in the early days, anytime I made mistakes or I failed, I will beat myself up. Adedoyin, how could you? I tell the story about a blunder when I was managing brand communications for a faith-based industry, and I used to send out daily devotionals. And in the headline, and I have my system of checking, double checking, this error was the first word, and there was an error, and I was like, how did I possibly miss it? So it then meant that my foolproof editing, whatever, because I'm also human, I'll make mistakes, but I also knew that I had to do more to make sure that I wouldn't make that kind of mistake again. But errors do happen, mistakes do happen, failure is a part of the game. Don't be paralyzed by fear that you don't give yourself room to grow, you don't give yourself room to expand, you don't give yourself room to try new things and new possibilities. Some of you, because you're afraid, you're not volunteering to do certain things in your organization, you're not putting your hand up when they ask for who can do this and who can do that, because you are second guessing yourself. So please do not be afraid to fail. And this is why I love reading the autobiographies of people that have been successful. The ones that are truthful, you would see the times that they have failed. You've seen the times where they second guess themselves, and you see what they have achieved. So that also helps me to have confidence that, okay, I may never have done this before. This is something new for me. This is bigger than I have ever handled before, but I have the capacity. Remember, this comes on the back of you having the knowledge and you having the skill set. So this has to go hand in hand with you improving your knowledge, growing your information, and growing your skills. And then allow yourself to go for it. Go for the opportunities that will stretch you. Go for the opportunities that will allow you to expand, because that's how you improve your confidence. And another thing that I will share is, please be mindful of how you talk about yourself as a professional. Don't look down on yourself. Don't look down on your skills. If you're working in an environment where your bosses are constantly putting you down, you should start planning your exit route, because while nobody is perfect, everybody has value to bring to the table, and you have value to bring to the table. You might be new in the industry, you might just be starting your career, but there's something valuable that you can add. There's something unique that you can bring that would make a difference. So you need to speak about yourself the way you want to see yourself. It doesn't matter if you're just starting. It doesn't matter if you have 2 years experience. You are exceptional. You talk yourself up, affirm yourself. I have affirmations. I'm an excellent trainer. I'm an excellent communicator. I'm sought after globally to train communications teams. That's how I talk about myself, because how you carry yourself is also very important. So that's another thing that I will add for you to overcome imposter syndrome. And I think that finally, if I would, because I want this to be a quick video, enjoy the journey. I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to arrive at a particular destination. I want to be the head of communications. I want to be the chief communications officer. I want to be the CMO. Those are absolutely fantastic. But the beauty is actually in your journey, is in the day-to-day, the week-to-week, the month-to-month. How are you appreciating your journey? Some of you've done exceptional things this year, but you haven't paused to be able to say, well done to yourself. You haven't celebrated yourself. You don't need to wait for people to celebrate or acknowledge you. So enjoy the journey. I absolutely love working in communications. I always tell people that in as much as this work or this industry can stress you out, I absolutely love what I do, and that allows me to be confident. And because from all the tips that I've shared, I am confident about my journey. I'm confident that I'm learning. I'm confident that I'm committed to my personal development. I will keep on rising. So if I should just wrap up everything that I've said, please create a personal development and growth plan. Where are you now and where do you want to be? And find knowledge. YouTube, I love podcasts. See, when I go on LinkedIn and I find any resource that is useful, I bookmark it, I send it to myself on WhatsApp, and when I have time, I read it, whether it's reports, whether it's podcasts, whether it's an article, whether it's a conversation on LinkedIn. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So conversations about AI and marketing and communications, I'm always intrigued by it, and I bookmark it, but I'm opening myself up, because that is how you expand your knowledge. I hope this has been beneficial for you. If you've overcome imposter syndrome, please let us know how you do it. If you've never dealt with it, fantastic. How do you stay confident constantly in your ability? You can feel free to share. And like I said at the beginning, if you haven't read my book, please read it, From Clueless to Success. It really just demystifies this career journey. I don't think that anybody completely has it all together. There are ups and downs, but it's a very, very beautiful journey. Thank you for watching. Bye.